Hello, 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 and welcome to another episode of Filipindian Tales. I am quite excited for this episode because today I will let you in on the top 10 Filipino Christmas traditions that Filipinos, wherever they may be in different parts of the world, still honor and practice. I'm sure you are well aware how Filipinos love to party. Celebrations are part and parcel of our DNA, and merriment seems to run in our veins. But did you know that in the Philippines, Christmas is not just a day to celebrate, but rather a season to have lots of fun and loads of good times? I am not going to make you wait any longer. Let's jump into the Christmas bandwagon, or shall we say, the Santa sleigh, and start discussing about the Philippine Christmas tradition. So here we talk about Christmas in September, which means, our celebration actually begins from September. And I'd say, while all other people all over the world are celebrating one occasion or another, say, Halloween, which is celebrated widely in different parts of the world, and Thanksgiving in some parts of, North America and Canada and other parts as well. And Hanukkah is also another celebration during this time. And here in India, we actually celebrated Diwali. And specifically here in South India, we had a Kartikai Deepam. But in the Philippines, September is the beginning of the celebration of Christmas. So basically, when the Burr month enters, we start celebrating the season of Christmas. So September, October, November, and December, basically 4 months of partying and having fun and celebrating the season of Christmas, which culminates, of course, on December 25th, which is the Christmas day itself. And then finally, the entire celebration of Christmas ends only on the first Sunday of February, which is the Feast of the Three Kings. Because after all, Three Kings is still part of Christmas, right? So from September, we begin all of the Christmas traditions that we have actually listed and are going to discuss in this episode. As I've said earlier, the Philippine Christmas season begins in September. And needless to say, the Filipinos start decorating for the season as early as, the first day of September. And when I say decorating, Filipinos do give it a special meaning. Believe me, they go all out in their decoration to make sure that everybody knows that Christmas is indeed coming. So Christmas trees are put up, sparkling lights are hung, and everyone seems to brighten up. The malls are brimming with trinkets and tinsels. The Christmas colors of green, red, and yellow can be seen everywhere. And one interesting fact is that in almost every corner of the country, competitions are held as to the most beautifully decorated churches, homes, parks, schools, offices, you name it. The Christmas celebration in the Philippines have very deep influences from Catholicism, which can be traced back from the Spanish colonization from 1521 to 1898. During this time, the Spaniards brought in a lot of cultural influences to the Filipinos, and one of them is the parol. The term parol comes from the Spanish word farol, which means lantern. As you can see, I have one here behind me, and this one, I have brought it all the way from Manila some years ago. And since then, it's always been hung in my home during the Christmas season. Parol is a Filipino ornamental lantern that are traditionally made from bamboo and Japanese paper. But of course, modern parol are now made with different materials like plastic, glass, or even copy shells like the one I have here, and are illuminated with electrical lights. Parol's most common form is the five-pointed star, but of course it can come in different sizes and shapes. But one thing that we must remember is that more than as a decoration, parol stands as a symbol of victory of light over darkness. Parol signifies hope amidst despair, especially in situations like what we are in right now. In this Christmas season that we are celebrating during the pandemic, the parol reminds us to remain resilient, hopeful, positive, and always trusting in the Lord. Simbang Gabi's literal translation is night masses or a mass held during the night. It is a 9-day devotional masses attended by Filipinos in anticipation of Christmas. It is held from December 16 to December 24th, which is the eve of Christmas. Well, history tells us that Simbang Gabi was originally held during the early hours in the morning or at dawn around 4 or 5 in the morning. And the reason for this is for farmers to be able to attend this devotional mass before going to their field to work. Philippines is basically an agricultural country, and many people work in the farms, and to combat the heat of working in the middle of the day, they start their work early. And because of that, they've been working the whole day, and towards the end of the day, they were already tired and they don't have the energy to actually attend the masses at night. So the Catholic priests, or the priors as they are called in Spanish, decided to hold these masses at the early morning hours or at dawn so that these farmers could attend these devotional masses before going to their workplace. Nowadays, there are still a few churches in the Philippines that actually hold these masses at dawn, but in many places they actually hold it at night, hence the term Simbang Gabi, which is a mass at night. On the last day of the Simbang Gabi, which is the Christmas Eve, the service is called Misa de Gallo, which is Spanish for Rooster's Mass. This has an important role for the Philippine culture, especially for Catholics, because it is believed that it is at this time when the child Jesus was born. What is a celebration without singing? That is something that is unheard of for Filipinos. The world over, Filipinos are known as the kings and queens, prince and princesses of the karaoke. We simply love to sing, and the Christmas season is a chance for us to bring out those talents. Well, it has become a common joke that you know that Christmas is near when you start hearing Gemmarie belting out his famous Christmas in Our Hearts. Gemmarie is a famous Filipino balladeer whose Christmas album has become and still is very popular among Filipinos in the Philippines and abroad. Many of his songs have become very popular for carolers who would go from house to house to serenade the house owners and even their neighbors. Filipino carolers come in different size and form, and they use different instruments, and they sing different songs. It could be Tagalog, it could be English, some even in Spanish, and they really bring out, the best in the spirit of Christmas season.
Hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King.
Christmas is a season of gift-giving, and the Filipinos' version of this is called monito or monita, or sometimes called Secret Santa. The terms monito and monita, just like any other Spanish pronouns, stands for monito for male and monita for female. This activity works like a fun game, and just like any other game, it has its rules and mechanics. The mechanics are easy. At the beginning of the season, or sometimes the appointed time that you have agreed as a group, you draw lots as to who your monito or monita will be. So this will be a secret draw lots. And once you have the name of your monita or monita, the group will also agree on the frequency and the amount of gifts that has to be given. So basically, there's an amount agreed and sometimes a theme for every gift that has to be given. I did this once for my team at the office and they really had fun. As we always say, the gift doesn't really matter, but it's always the thought that counts the most. And monito-monita is a really fun way of gift giving. It is mostly the anticipation and excitement of receiving a surprise gift every week from whoever has got you as a monito or monita. I've heard this many times and I really don't know if I should be flattered or I should be embarrassed, just like any other Asian, when receiving a compliment. But, they always say that Filipinos love to party and they do really know how to throw a really fun party. Well, I agree 1,000% because Filipinos, whenever we plan a party, we look at every single details and we see to it that, every attendee, everyone who comes to our house to attend our party are well looked after and that they go home with a smile on their face. Filipino Christmas parties happen in different groups. It could be between families, friends, cousins, classmates, colleagues, old friends, or just about any group who would want to get together and celebrate the season. In most cases, these parties happen as a reunion of sorts, especially for those dear ones whom we have not seen for quite a while. Filipino Christmas parties are a big riot of fun, starting with food that's sometimes brought in as a potluck, wherein, guests bring in their share so as not to burden the host and to also offer a variety of dishes. Filipino parties are loaded with lots of fun games to make the day a lot more enjoyable. Some of the popular games that we often, see being played on Filipino Christmas parties are like the trip to Jerusalem, the very famous trip to Jerusalem, the paper dance, wherein, you dance on a piece of paper and, it gets smaller and smaller every time. And then we also have the bring me game, wherein you're asked to bring something that's unexpected. So you have to actually really run around and look for those things. And of course, we have the charade. And another one is the Santa limbo, or anything, that actually requires you to dance. Even a stop dance is another popular Christmas party games for Filipino party. A Filipino party, especially family parties, never complete without a showcase of Filipino talents. It could be dancing, singing, comedy skits, or playing an instrument, just about anything that your typical Filipino mom would force you to do in front of your relatives during a Christmas party. Number 8, we have the Christmas handa, or the food that is normally put on the Christmas table and is shared by family members. First, we have the puto bongbong, which is a purple rice cake cooked in bamboo tubes. Second, we have the bibingka, which is again a rice cake, but this time it is topped with coconut strips, salted egg, and lots of cheese. Next, we have the castañas, which are wok roasted chestnuts that are sold in many parts of the country during this season. And then of course, we have queso de bola, which is a must on every Christmas table. And then we have the Christmas ham, which is a cured smoked pork glazed with pineapple syrup. And of course, any Filipino celebration will not be complete without the pancit, which for us is a symbolism of long life. Other favorites are lumpia, barbecue, leche plan, and the macaroni salad. The Noche Buena, or as it is literally translated, means night of goodness, is to the Filipino not just the Christmas Eve, but it is specifically the meal shared by the family after attending the Christmas Eve Mass. This traditional meal is served at midnight and is shared by all the members of the family after they have attended the midnight Mass or the Misa de Gallo. Aguinaldo is a Spanish term which means Christmas bonus. For the kids, Aguinaldo is the gift given to them by their ninong or ninang or their godparents. It is customary for children to visit their ninongs and ninangs and all the elders of the family and take their blessings in a manner that we call the pagmamano. This pagmamano, or kissing of the hand, is a gesture of respect for the elderly. So basically, this pagmamano is done by taking the hand of our elders and putting it on our forehead and saying the words, mano po, which is a sign of, asking for their blessings. Only after they have done these mano gestures or taking the blessings of the elders, they do get their Christmas gift, which is normally in the form of money, which is, it comes in a cover. And sometimes also they get their gifts, but many people, especially nowadays, they prefer to have the money so that they can actually buy what they really wanted. Well, time is changing and so is people and how they look at tradition. But I guess Filipino Christmas tradition stays wherever there are Filipinos in any part of the world. I have lived and celebrated Christmas in different countries. And whenever I am with the Filipino community, participating in all these Christmas traditions, I always tear up a little knowing that, a part of me being a Filipino and these traditions will always live. For now, allow me to thank you once again for joining me here at Filipindian Tales. If you like this video, please do give me a thumbs up. Share it with your friends or relatives who may be interested in the topic that we discussed today. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to my channel for more narratives about life and living the Filipindian way. From your Filipindian Tales family, allow me to wish you a meaningful Christmas full of hope and a brighter, healthier tomorrow, free from this pandemic that is gripping the world today. Isang makabuluhan at mapagpalang Pasko po sa inyong lahat.